Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the podcast. And today, I'm going to go my review of AEW's Dynamite. Starting off tonight, we get a tag team tournament matchup, quarterfinal match. It is the Outrunners taking on the Young Bucks. Before I even get started with the match, man, number one, I thought it was hilarious that the Young Bucks, both Matt and Nick Jackson, got the jobber entrance. Meaning, if you guys don't know what that means, is the fact that they had no entrance music. They didn't even come out to the ring. I mean, they were already in the ring when the show started. So it was just, and not only that, the nameplate just said, like the nameplate for the match for them, like you know how somebody like they walk out to the ring, will say Christian Cage or the Young Bucks or Okada or Omega. Young Bucks didn't even get that. It just said, I think it said talent. You know what I mean? It was hilarious. I love the play on that they're doing ever since the Young Bucks had lost the tag team matchup against Will Ospreay and Swerve It All In. I think it's hilarious, man. So I thought that was one of the best parts of this match. I thought the match itself, though, was a decent match, man. It was a back-and-forth matchup between the Bucks and the Outrunners, with the Outrunners keeping the pace of the match. Matt Jackson hits a blockbuster-type maneuver off the apron. Matt Jackson then hits a low blow with the referee being distracted. This allowed Nick to go for a super kick, but missed and hit Matt Jackson. But the Young Bucks ultimately hit a TK driver, pins for the 3, and your winners of the match and moving on in the tag team tournament are the Young Bucks. After the match, Okada comes out to the ring. Okada and the Bucks attack the Outrunners. Swerve's music hits. He comes out to the ring, and Swerve attacks Okada. Looks like Swerve has some unfinished business with Okada. Moving on from that, we have Christian Cage. Now, we have not seen Christian Cage since the attack that he had on from the Patriarchy that he got at All In. So everybody was really anticipating what Christian Cage was going to be talking about. I'm not going to lie, man. I thought this whole thing was put together pretty shitty. Not saying I didn't want to hear a rebuttal from Christian Cage on what happened with him and Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. I wanted to hear what Christian Cage had to say after he was attacked by both Nick Wayne and Sabian at what happened at All In. But Christian Cage had a hard time getting the promo out, man. He kept stuttering. He was losing his words. I feel like he was trying to figure out what to say throughout his entire promo. He calls himself an asshole, which I thought was hilarious. He also talks about Revolution and losing his title opportunity. Christian then mocks the Patriarchy. Christian says that Nick Wayne now has 2 dead fathers. After that, Cage goes up to the ramp, get ready to leave the arena. But he's quickly attacked by the Patriarchy, both Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. Both Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne grabbed 2 chairs. They hit a concerto, or at least what it looked like a concerto. It was one of the worst concertos I've ever seen in pro wrestling history, ultimately laying out Christian Cage on the ramp. So who knows what's going to be next for Christian Cage. Obviously, I think he's going to have his sights set on possibly Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. I don't know how Adam Copeland's going to fall into play with this. So it's going to be very telling to see what Christian Cage does next, now that he was attacked again from Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. Moving on from that, we have an AEW title matchup where there is nobody supposed to be ringside, banned from ringside, nobody from the back, no Death Riders are allowed in this matchup. So it's Adam Page defending the AEW title against Jon Moxley. Now, again, we got this matchup a couple weeks ago at All In, where Page was successful in beating Jon Moxley and becoming the new AEW World Champion. And it looks like now AEW is running it back just 2 weeks later after what we got at All In. The match itself, it was a good match for what they gave us. I mean, it was a back-and-forth matchup between Page and Moxley, with Page and Moxley both exchanging in the middle of the ring. Page was keeping the pace of the match. Page hits a fall-away slam on Moxley, followed by a Death Valley driver for a near fall. Page then hits a pop-up powerbomb on Moxley for a near fall as well. Moxley gets up, staggers to his feet, hits a pile driver off the steel steps on Adam Page ringside. Page then gets up, hits a deadeye on Moxley off the announce table. Moxley then gets up, hits a pile driver off the apron on Page. It looked absolutely brutal, followed by Moxley hitting another pile driver for a near fall. Page somehow gets up, he goes to the top rope, hits a moonsault to the outside, taking out Jon Moxley. Page then hits a deadeye as well. Referee is taken out due to the deadeye. Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli are here. Marina Shafir gives Moxley the AEW World title. Page then goes for a buckshot lariat, but Moxley hits Page with the AEW World title. Moxley, thinking that he can capitalize on this, goes for the pin, and it was a near fall. Darby then is out of nowhere, jumps off a balcony, takes out the Death Riders. Page then hits a buckshot lariat, followed by Page hitting another deadeye, leaving Moxley laid out in the middle of the ring. Page then hits another buckshot lariat, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match and still AEW World Champion is Adam Page. Moving on from that, we got Alex Windsor and Toni Storm teaming up to take on Athena and Billy Starks. I thought it was a decent match, back and forth matchup with Alex and Toni keeping the pace of the match. Athena ultimately hits the finish, though, on Toni Storm, pins for the 3, and your winners of the match are Athena and Billy Starks. And moving on from that, we get the main event of AEW's Dynamite. It is Ricochet taking on Mark Briscoe. I thought it was a decent match, back and forth matchup between Ricochet and Briscoe, with Ricochet keeping the pace of the match. But Briscoe hits his signature Jay Drilla on Ricochet, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is Mark Briscoe. Hats off to Mark Briscoe for getting the win in this matchup. A couple of things I want to talk to you guys about Dynamite, man. And honestly, it's going to be a hot take probably for a lot of people. But I'm going to be honest, man, and it's one of the things I pride myself on with doing this, is I've always been upfront and honest with you guys, and I tell you guys exactly how I feel. Dynamite last night was absolutely the drizzling shits last night. And I know a lot of people were like, man, stop watching it. No, this is what I do. But I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat shit and say, oh, it was good when it wasn't. So I want to start with a couple things. Number one, I think the biggest elephant in the room for me was Adam Page and Jon Moxley. Now, we had this matchup between Moxley and Adam Page, and we had this entire story after Page had won the Owen, leading Page into this matchup with Jon Moxley. We had Page talking with Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland was also involved, and then we're building this conglomerate of a story leading into All In, where Page was this immense babyface trying to dethrone Jon Moxley and the Death Riders and completely dismantle the Death Riders and bring AEW back to a resurgence of kind of what it once was in the beginning. Here we are about 2 weeks later. We're in the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, Illinois, and about 1,100 people max in this arena, if you, I wouldn't even call it an arena. It's like a, some kind of building. I don't know the exact name for it. I'm lost of words in the moment. But 1,100 people in the Aragon Ballroom, compared to almost 30,000 people at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. We get this match, again, between Adam Page and Jon Moxley, where everybody is banned from ringside, where Adam Page will defend the AEW World title against Jon Moxley once again. My issue is with this. Number one, this match either A, could have not happened. There was no need for a rematch because Moxley had lost it at All In. Or B, why are we doing this at the Aragon Ballroom? I'm not taking anything away from the ballroom and the fans of Chicago, Illinois. I'm not taking anything away from them. Or the fans of Illinois. I'm not taking anything away from them. I think they're great. But why are we not saving this possibly for Forbidden Door or another pay-per-view for AEW? But my thing is this, and I made this abundantly clear to you guys after what happened at All In. After Page had successfully beat Jon Moxley and became the new AEW World Champion, this was a time for Jon Moxley and the Death Riders to kind of ride off into the sunset a little bit and take a couple weeks off, specifically Jon Moxley. A lot of fans in AEW, that are fans of AEW, were sick and tired of seeing Jon Moxley and this Death Rider shit. It was the ultimate literal death of this company. We were tired of seeing it. And for those people out there that legitimately say that some of these wrestlers in AEW don't have creative control, you have lost your fucking mind. The list is substantial, bro. From Adam Copeland to Jon Moxley to Mercedes Moné. And the list goes on. Jon Moxley is the guy that's pulling the trigger on this shit. I'm telling you guys this right now. And here's the thing. This is ultimately going to be the thing that's going to really differentiate, to be honest with you, with Jon Moxley. Is the fact that he had this decent run in the beginning of AEW, and then when this Death Rider shit was formed, that's when a lot of shit changed for Jon Moxley. And honestly, for what it's worth, I don't know if this is going to actually put a stain on his career, to be honest with you, and his legacy. Because to be honest with you, there were so many people that I know of personally that were so sick and fucking tired of this Death Rider shit that it was fucking bad, man. It honestly is. And I don't know what the deal is. I know Jon Moxley has creative control. Tony Khan obviously has some input as well, but man, we should not be seeing Jon Moxley and the Death Riders right now. They should have took 2 weeks off or something, build up some momentum, come back with full force, and then, okay, maybe we'll get back to this shit again. But no. Instead, it's, okay, well, Moxley loses the AEW World title after he kept it captive for so many months, and now we see him right back on AEW television literally that following week right after fucking All In. It's fucking insane. Why? What is the fucking purpose of putting him on television? Why can't he take some time off? Seriously. It does them nothing. And my thing is, like, and a friend of mine brought up the same thing too. Like, where the hell is Pac? Is he legitimately injured? Is he having? Because I've heard two different stories. He's injured. He was having visa issues. Like, is he still not a part of the Death Riders? What the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? And that's the other thing too that I want to get into here in a minute. But like, dude, it's fucking insane. It's absolutely insane. And I'm sorry, but there was no. I mean, my thing is, I feel like they kind of went ass backwards with this match. Where at All In, we could have had a everybody bar from ringside matchup, and then had it at All In, and then we would get to the Aragon Ballroom, even though it's 1,100 people. We get a Texas Death Match to follow that up, and that's the end all be all. That's it. No, we get the Texas Death Match at All In, which was a great match. And then we get to this everybody bar from ringside match, which eventually turned into complete shit because we see Claudio, Yuta, Marina Shafir get involved. We see Darby Allin jumping off a goddamn balcony, taking out the goddamn Death Riders. So that stipulation completely went out the goddamn window. So, like, again, man, you like, I don't know if it's the inmates that are running the asylum here. I think it's, and that's the other thing too. Like, there was news that came out recently, a few days ago, that Tony Khan and AEW are finally having backstage production meetings before these episodes of Dynamite Collision. News to me, because honestly, for what it's worth, I don't know what kind of production team that he has. His writing team is absolutely shit if he has one. AEW Dynamite last night was complete shit. And not only that, the other thing about the Page and Moxley match, if you're telling the entire wrestling world that the AEW title was the most prestigious championship in all of goddamn wrestling, why are we getting this as a mid-card matchup when it could have been Page and Moxley in the main event of last night's Dynamite for the AEW World title? No, instead, we get Page and Moxley in the mid-card for the AEW World title, and then we get Mark Briscoe and Ricochet as the main event. What the fuck are we doing here, man? Honestly. Number one, your world champion should be in the main event. He should either open the show or close the goddamn show. Not be in the middle of the damn show, number one. Number two, it's your world championship. You know how much like it takes away from the AEW World title when you do shit like that? It makes the title not important. It makes the title literally worthless when you're doing shit like that. And the reason why, from what I was told, the reason why Tony Khan did that is because it was the second hour of Dynamite, and that's where they want to gravitate fans, that they don't want fans to leave the show or lose ratings. I don't give a rat's ass about the ratings, bro. I don't. You want to give a shit about the ratings? Provide better shows. You know what I mean? That honestly comes down to creative. If you're that worried about that, where you want to put your world champion on the second hour or the last hour of Dynamite, it's fucking ridiculous. It's crazy. It was like a mid-card match for the AEW World title. I think it started at, 8:45, 9 o'clock or something like that? I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. Why? You know what I mean? It's either he starts the show or he main events the show because he's the world champion for your company. I mean, come on, bro. It's like, you go from All In to this shit. It'd be like, honestly, it'd be like if Bret Hart defended the WWF title against Yokozuna at WrestleMania, and then he's put in the mid-card the following Raw. Get the fuck out of here with that. Are you serious? That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, the illogical shit that happens in this company is un-fucking real. And for me as a fan, I just want the company to succeed. And yes, for me as a fan, I'm a firm believer, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I know things change over time. But bro, I mean, your tag team division's fucking awful. And that's the other thing too. The opening, the match with the Outrunners and the Young Bucks. Why can't, the Outrunners right now are so over. So over. Why can't we get the Outrunners to beat the Young Bucks, move on in this tournament, to possibly face FTR? Why? The Outrunners are immensely, I think they're more over than the Bucks, to be honest with you. Might be a hot take for a lot of Young Bucks fans out there, but I think the Outrunners are more over than the Young Bucks. Why not? Have the Outrunners win, move on to the tournament. No, we got to get the Young Bucks to win. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, come on, bro. It's fucking ridiculous, man. It really is. You know, then we get MJF. MJF now seemingly is getting kicked out of the Hurt Syndicate now for some apparent reason. So now he's out. Bobby Lashley gave him a thumbs down. Shelton Benjamin last night told him that he gave him a thumbs down, or if he didn't leave him, he was going to leave him in a pretty much a puddle of his own piss last night, which I thought was hilarious. So MJF seemingly looks like he's on an island all by himself with that AEW title contract that he's been pretty much waiting in the balance on when he's going to cash in or not, go up against Adam Page for that world title, which most likely might take place at Forbidden Door, to be honest. That was a decent part of the night last night, but The Outrunners should have beat the Young Bucks. Absolutely. Having Adam Page and Moxley for the AEW World Title as a mid-card matchup is complete bullshit. And, and the other thing is, too, I have all the respect in the world for Mark Briscoe. I really do. I really do. I thought the Briscoes as a tag team are one of the most underrated tag teams on the planet. Mark and Jay were a phenomenal tag team. And obviously we got the news that we had lost Jay Briscoe, which it's sad, man. It's unfortunate. But every time Mark Briscoe gets an opportunity where, he gets a little bit of limelight, AEW just... they don't give a shit. I mean, look at the Continental Classic tournament, bro. Every time Mark Briscoe's in there, man, they treat him like shit. It's ridiculous. It honestly is, and I'm not taking anything away from him as far as what he can do in the ring. The guy can wrestle, but AEW always drops the ball with Mark Briscoe. And my thing is with Mark and Ricochet last night, I don't understand how this was the main event of Dynamite last night. With all due respect to Mark Briscoe, it should have been Jon Moxley, Adam Page for the world title. Briscoe and Ricochet could have been the co-main, to be honest with you. And Page and Moxley could have closed out the show. I don't understand that should have been the close. And yeah, Darby Allin, it's great to see Darby Allin back. I'm happy that he actually did something now that he's been back for a couple of weeks where he jumped off a balcony and attacked the Death Riders. But it's like, bro, you're going to get your ass back to work. You've been gone, bro. You were gone for months, climbing Mount Everest and all this, which is a great, huge accomplishment. It was great. You left AEW at a time where the last time we saw you, you know what I mean, when this whole thing was speculated about you going to Everest, I think AEW was at the top of their game. You know what I mean? Everybody was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And now AEW, in the past 2 years, have been the drizzling shits. I'm not sitting here saying Darby Allin's been gone for 2 years, but AEW damn sure hasn't been the same, especially before he left. AEW needs to hit the fucking reset button, man, and I don't know what it's going to take to do that. But I'm going to tell you guys this, and I told you guys this shit before, man. When the time comes where their AEW TV contract comes up, I'm going to be honest. I think they're going to stay with Time Warner and Warner Media, but I think it'd be crazy. I don't think Time Warner and Warner Media is going to give them the same money that they gave them on their last contract. And honestly, if I was working for Time Warner or Warner Media, I wouldn't give them that money. They haven't earned it. They have not earned it. They're giving out piss-poor shows, bro. The ratings are in the goddamn toilet. NXT's been kicking their ass in the ratings. I mean, I think, honestly, what happened with Tony Khan and then the people at Time Warner, man, he bamboozled those fucking people. I'm telling you right now. He sold them chicken shit, hoping that he'd make it into chicken salad. Seriously. And once he got that money, bro, and he got that new TV rights deal, man, he took his fucking foot off the gas pedal and was pumping those brakes, man. He wasn't doing shit. Honestly, he doesn't. You telling people that you're finally doing fucking production meetings now that this company's been around for 5 fucking years is a slap in the face, man. Seriously. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't understand. And the thing of it is, bro, they have the talent. There's no short of talent over in AEW. I mean, you literally have, if not the best wrestler on the goddamn planet right now with Will Ospreay. You got Ospreay. I put Swerve definitely in that category. You got Kenny Omega, Okada. I mean, the list goes on, bro. MJF. I mean, you have the goddamn talent. All we're asking for is some story. You know what I mean? For example, Jon Moxley could have took some weeks off. He could have took almost damn near a month off. And all of a sudden, he comes back full force, pissed off, looking for Adam Page. And they could have set it up where Page was probably walking out to, in the parking lot to his car or some shit like that. Moxley pulls up in the goddamn Dodge Ram, gets out, confronts Adam Page, beats the shit out of him, saying that he wants his damn title back, that he's taking the company over, and he wants his fucking rematch. No. We're not getting any storyline. This company, they don't believe in story. It's basically, okay, it's AEW, but I'm going to take bits and parts of WCW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and All Japan Pro Wrestling and form it into one huge conglomerate of a bunch of bullshit. That's exactly what it is. You look at Okada right now. He's walking around with 3 goddamn titles. It's the same thing that we used to see back in the All Japan Pro Wrestling days with Misawa and Kawada, Vader, Stan Hansen, all those guys that were the Triple Crown champion. That's what it was. So obviously Tony Khan's taking bits and pieces from All Japan Pro Wrestling. Then you're looking at New Japan because obviously Tony Khan's a big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's the same shit, folks. It's not like we need story. I'm not sitting here saying that WWE is immensely better. No, I'm not sitting here saying that. But you got to give the fans something to hold on to, bro. It's got to make sense. I mean, come on. I mean, It'd be like I said, the Page and Moxley shit being pretty much almost a mid-card matchup. It'd be like, okay, well, Cody beat, finally, got the world title, and then he's, mid-card defending the title against some random-ass person on an episode of SmackDown. It's crazy. Illogical booking. And to be honest with you, Moxley lost, bro. You're in the back of the fucking line, Jack. In the back of the line. There needs to be new contenders. Hopefully it's MJF. He's got that contract for an AEW World title shot. MJF needs to be pushing for that title. Getting back to the Triple B. But it does make me, it makes me worried on the fact that how long is Adam Page truly going to hold on to this AEW World title? That's the other question. You know what I mean? Is he going to, hot potato this championship possibly to MJF? Is that a possibility? For me as a fan of AEW, and I'm a fan of AEW, I'm a fan of WWE. What I want from AEW is to kind of go back to what brought them to the dance a little bit, bro. Let's get some storylines, man. Let's have some fun. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, what's the worst that can happen of having a little bit of fun watching pro wrestling? You know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day with those MJF and Chris Jericho, those storylines, those promos, those segments between Jericho and MJF were hilarious. I mean, Christ, bro, MJF and Jericho damn near had a Broadway musical leading up for their match. It was hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, let's get some fun back into AEW again. Let's get the fans excited. Holy shit, this is happening. Or this. You know what I mean? Like, I can honestly tell you guys, man, I have not been excited from AEW since, I would say, Bryan Danielson's run. And before that, I would say Sting's retirement tour. Leading up to his retirement. That was the last time that I was genuinely excited for what was going on in AEW. Since then, bro, it hasn't been shit. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I was excited for Adam Page finally beating Jon Moxley, but then here we are 2 weeks later, and these guys are squaring off again in the Aragon Ballroom in front of 1,100 people. It's just it's crazy, man. Like, where is this reset button? If it does exist, then where is it? And when is it going to be the time for Tony Khan to finally wake up, smell the folders, and realize, oh shit, I need to hit the reset button because obviously shit's not panning out, and it's not panning out. You're telling fans that you're finally doing production meetings now that this company's been around for 5 years is a slap in the face, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're drinking White Claws on some yacht somewhere, and that's it? I mean, what the fuck are you doing? What are we doing here? Seriously. And people are like, oh yeah, it reminds me a lot of WCW. Yeah, WCW 2000, when the company was, pretty much bought out by AOL and then went to shit. I mean, come on, bro. And Tony Khan's a wrestling historian. Like he says that he is. Then, bro, look back in the history books of what WCW was doing. They were red hot out of the gate, just like WCW was. From 95, I would say WCW's window when they were red hot was from the years of 95 to 98. So that's about 4 years, maybe 4.5 years when we get into 99. Here we are 5 years, bro, and the past 2 years of AEW has been jack shit. Like, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I'm saying? And if Tony Khan's a big fan of WCW, bro, then WCW's already, to me, they surpassed what the hell you were doing. They brought excitement to their shows. You know what I'm saying? In my honest opinion, that's not me just saying that because I'm a WCW fan, but, what are we doing? And I'm not saying WCW didn't have shit that was illogical. Oh, they did. And some of their matches were ridiculous towards the end of their tenure in, 99 and 2000. It was ridiculous. But, again, you have the fucking talent that works there, both on the men's side of the fence and as well as the women's side of the fence. You have an abundance of talent on this roster. Why are we not getting storylines? Why? There needs to be a storyline between Athena and Toni Storm. There needs to be a storyline between MJF and Adam Page because there's still some business to be finished there between MJF and Adam Page. So let's get that story going. Unfinished business between Page and MJF. Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's Championship against Athena. Let's get that story. Let's start to get that brewing. You know what I mean? For example, if Wardlow was not injured, how are we going to incorporate Wardlow possibly back into AEW if that is a possibility? Or Camille back in AEW again? You know what I mean? Are the rumors that are speculating the fact that they might reform Pinnacle? Is it going to happen? Who knows? But I'm going to be honest with you. If that were to be the case and they reunite Pinnacle, I don't think it's going to be a goddamn bad thing. It'd be something new. It'd be a breath of fresh air. To be honest, they need something, bro, for the fans to hold on to. And right now, everything, I can tell you right now, man, AEW fan base, as it stands right now, the main thing they're holding on to right now, and the only thing they're holding on to right now is Adam Page. That is it. If Jon Moxley would have walked out all in AEW World Champion, man, I don't know if we would still see an AEW at this point. I don't. I really don't. There'd be so many people that would have been pissed off if Moxley would have walked out of Arlington still AEW World Champion. I can promise you that. Because people are fucking tired of it, man. We saw it for months. I mean, he held that belt captive since last October, where he beat Bryan Danielson in Wrestle Dream. And that's the other thing, too. You know, and the other thing that pisses me off is that we had Bryan Danielson be a part of this matchup at All In. He hits up a Psycho knee on Wheeler Yuta and then rides off in the goddamn sunset. Oh, this is not a return, yada yada. But here you are taking bumps for CMML. Here you are taking a bump against Wheeler Yuta with that Psycho knee. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? And not only that, we didn't get a rebuttal from you after what happened against you and Jon Moxley at Wrestle Dream. Nothing. That was your last match, and you rode off into the goddamn sunset. Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you tease the fans, and you taking bumps and all this other shit, and then you ride off into the sunset. No rebuttal, no reason why you came out and attacked Wheeler Yuta. You know what I mean? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. AEW needs to change, and that's just the bottom line of it. I'm not the only person saying it. I know a lot of fans out there, oh man, you know, you always watch the show and you always shit on it. No, I don't. But I'm tired of getting my intelligence insulted week in and week out. That's just the bottom line of it. And I'm not going to sit here, like I told you guys before, I'm not here to rub elbows with these people, man. I'm not. I'm genuine, I'm honest, and that's just how I feel about the company. I have my displeasures as well with WWE. I mean, honestly, for what it's worth, I know WWE is going to be dropping this Netflix thing, WWE Uncut or whatever the hell it's called. A lot of people are hating on it because, you know, it's almost like the curtain call. WWE is kind of, you know, pulling back the curtain, allowing fans to see really what's going on, and a lot of fans are saying, well, this might jeopardize WWE. I don't know, you know, but people have to realize also this is what's going on. This is a business. WWE is a business. AEW is a business. You know what I mean? And some people don't want to see what goes on behind the curtain. And now that WWE is doing that, it's going to change a lot of people's opinion, not only about pro wrestling, but as well as WWE specifically. You know what I mean? So it's a double-edged sword. But I mean, Triple H was like, well, you can't be scared to, you know, broaden your horizons to see where it goes. I mean, and hats off to him for doing that. I mean, it takes guts, but, you know, is it going to benefit WWE, or is it going to be something that's very vital to WWE for them to be, you know, pulling back the curtain, allowing fans to kind of get a up-close and personal view of what goes on backstage week in and week out for a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown or a PLE, and how these storylines play out and the direction of where the company is going. You know, this is the first time that we're actually, as fans, you know, seeing really what goes on backstage, you know, not just from guerrilla position. You know what I mean? We're seeing what's going on backstage during production meetings and, you know, where the direction of the company is going at that time. You know, we're finally getting a chance to see that. So, you know, it's a risky move, but, you know, maybe, who knows, it might pay off for WWE. But, you know, for AEW, man, there needs to be a change. And I don't know when that change is coming. I mean, again, that's the thing too, man. You still have Darby Allin waiting in the balance. And I don't know if that's the next thing for Jon Moxley is Darby Allin. Sure. There's some unfinished business there between Darby and Jon Moxley. Sure. The last time we saw Darby on AEW television before he left to go climb Mount Everest was the Death Riders and Jon Moxley pushing Darby Allin down a flight of stairs. So I'm sure there is some unfinished business there between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. And now that this match happened last night between Paige and Moxley, where Moxley lost the match, now it might be Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. The issue with that is that going to crown the new number one contender for the AEW World title. And that could go both ways. You know, we have Wrestle Dream coming up, which that's going to be in the state of Washington. Darby Allin is from Washington State. You know, so again, is this going to be something where they're trying to align everything up to have Darby challenge for the AEW World title at Wrestle Dream? You know what I mean? Could Paige drop the belt in October? You know, against Darby Allin. That only literally gives Adam Page roughly maybe 2 months to hold that title. Maybe. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to be a long title run for Adam Page, because the way that they're looking at it right now is that, you know, Darby Allin is the wild card. And I said that even leading into All In. He is the wild card in all of this. You know what I mean? So we're going to see how this happens. I mean, we also have MJF waiting in the balance with that AEW contract that grants him an AEW World title opportunity. And it's up to him whether when or where he wants to cash that in. It could be on a Dynamite, a Collision. It could be the next PLE. or pay-per-view for AEW. It could be at Forbidden Door. It could be, you know, it could be Full Gear. It could be Wrestle Dream. It could be World's End. We don't know. You know what I mean? So again, that's something to keep an eye out on to see where MJF is actually going to sign that contract and cash in to get that title opportunity against Adam Page for the AEW World title. And we also have Darby Allin waiting in the balance as well. So, I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's just one of those things as a fan, it gets annoying as far as the direction of where this company is going. And the lack of storylines. Storyline is a big thing for professional wrestling, whether people like it or not. They need to know the when, the where, and the why. You know what I mean? That's what wrestling fans need. And I hate to bring this up again, but I'm going to bring this up. I think the best storytelling wrestling that we've got as pro wrestling fans is NXT Black and Gold. 100%. And I know it's a hot take for a lot of people, but I'm telling you guys right now, man, NXT Black and Gold, when it was, you know, one of the best things ever, and the talent they had all on that roster, it was some of the best wrestling that you will ever see. Absolutely. From the storylines, from Ciampa and Gargano, Aleister Black trying to figure out who attacked him. You know what I mean? Gargano and Andrade. You know what I mean? Undisputed Era. Keith Lee. Shayna Baszler on her title run. You know what I mean? Like, it's never going to be duplicated again. Ever. You know, and I think that, as a wrestling fan, that was some of the best storytelling wrestling that I've seen ever. And I don't think that will ever happen again, which is unfortunate, man, because NXT Black and Gold, for what it was worth, man, I was a huge fan of. I thought NXT Black and Gold was awesome. The takeovers were great. The commentary with Mauro Ranallo was awesome. The storytelling for these matches, the way they were building towards these, it was just absolutely incredible television. And now it's, you know, we don't have anything close to that. Even NXT now is nowhere near what Black and Gold was. Not even close, bro. So, it's one of those things where it's like, I always look back on like, damn, man, these were some really good matches. This was some great storyline shit here. It got you invested. I mean, not counting from the storylines and the vignettes that were played for these matches, but you also had Mauro on commentary that would sell these matches. That guy can sell a match like sliced bread. I'm not even bullshitting you. He's great for professional wrestling, and I know he does commentary for Major League, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Absolutely. It was a great addition from Scott D'Amore to bring in Mauro Ranallo. Absolutely. Smart business move, and he's great on commentary. Absolutely. Probably, if not one of the best commentators of all time. He's on the list. You know, and I was hoping maybe AEW would bring him in, but that's, you know, again, to be honest with you, I'd rather have a Mauro Ranallo than a Tony Schiavone. To be honest. Could you imagine a commentary table with Mauro Ranallo and Jim Ross? Holy shit. It'd be incredible. It'd be absolutely incredible. Sign me up. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. AEW needs to hit the reset button. And I think the minute the minute the fans realize that, and honestly, the minute Tony Khan realizes that, I think that's when AEW finally changes for the better. But for right now, for what we're getting, and if we keep getting this shit, I'm telling you, man, it's not going to be looking good for AEW in the foreseeable future. But with that being said, this is my review of AEW's Dynamite. I hope you guys are out there staying safe,